but thank you for being here. We may keep this quite a brief session, as you can assume, so we can give some experiences of gaming that we hope that can be relevant to you. But you can. I think we'll start the session now. So thank you for attending. I'll just look at you two. That's it. This is accessible gaming. We're just going to talk about our experiences, any tips we can provide, and we'll open it to question and answer session. So I'll start first. I'm Ravi. I work for Action Duchenne on their Yes I Can transition project. In terms of gaming, when I was younger, like a lot of other people, I was into like Game Boy, then Game Boy Advance. I'm sure there was Game Boy Color after that. A lot of Game Boys. Playing Nintendo 64, the Dreamcast. I think it's going about 20 years now. The PlayStation, but at that time, like I said in previous sessions, my mobility was quite good. I could hold the control. It was easy for me to play. But again, as time goes on, things get a bit harder. So you have to adapt to what you can do. So when I was playing PlayStation 3, for example, I had to have my hands in a special position, so let me get it closer. So I had to put some pillows around my arms, I had to get it supported in the right way. It has to be very precise, otherwise I just can't play. So I used to do that for a few years. I could play FIFA, Call of Duty, most games. But as time went on again, my hands got even tighter. It was more difficult for me to hold controls. So I could play things like Nintendo Wii. There's a very small control. It was quite easy to hold. I used to play for that quite a couple of years. After that, I could only play games on my phone. I've got a little iPhone SE. It's the smallest phone they offer, and I can hold it in my hand very well. So I'll play like Mario Kart, little games that wasn't really very exciting, but this is all I could do. Recently, in the last couple of years, Xbox came out with an adaptive controller. That means that you can input any hardware you wanted to make it easier for you to play. And some companies have like packages where you can buy all these little switches that can plug in to the Xbox. I'm sure the others will be able to provide more information on that. But people like Xbox really progressing. PlayStation is a little bit behind, but they've got things in their games where you can switch the contrast, add subtitles, make things easier to play, but PlayStation's a bit far behind. So yeah, at the moment, just gaming on my phone, playing quizzes, playing little games on the Fire TV, but I do wish I could play more, but there are hardwares coming out that makes it easier for you to play, whatever disability you have, whatever age you are. There are ways to do it, but you just got to adapt to what you can do. Sanjeev, did you want to speak now?
So yeah, gaming's always been probably really important for me, just because let's go back a bit. Because it was like something that I could do, like when I was younger. It was something that I could do with my friends, because obviously, like they would be going out to play football or whatever. So I always kind of felt like gaming was something that everybody was on the same platform, so like nobody had a disadvantage or advantage. So that's why I've really always got into gaming, and I think it's really got a really good social value as well, because you can meet a lot of people through it, and a lot of people kind of forget that how important that part is for gaming. Like for me, I was never like, I liked playing games, but it was more so to play with other people is what interested me. So it's always been quite important to me for that. But yeah, there's a lot of like, I've not got any adapted controllers or anything, so I just sort of do things like make sure my arms are in the right positions and stuff like that. I use a lot of different cushions that really help and stuff like that. But yeah, I just try to, and then also I started playing PC gaming, which opened up a lot of doors for me in terms of controllers and adaptations, and you can change the buttons to do different things on PC, so it's a lot more accessible for say than console. So that really helped me using a PC. And also there's a lot more of a community vibe, I feel like, on PC as well. Like people are really open-minded, and like I've met friends through games that I still kind of talk to and stuff like that. So I think that's why it's such a big thing within like our community, because I know a lot of people with Duchenne are like big gamers. So I think that's why. So yeah, I think it's really important. I think sometimes parents are like, you just have that thing where you don't want your kid to be playing too many games because you think it's just like they should be doing their homework or whatever. But there's definitely a lot of value in gaming that people should remember. And it's made such a big difference to so many people, especially like through COVID and stuff like that as well. Similar just to like technology as a whole and the internet and social media. I feel like it gets a lot of bad rep, but it's a little bit off topic. But I think that really opens up to a lot of disabled people to do things that otherwise would be really difficult without it. So yeah.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Now we'll ask Kath if she could speak a little bit about her experience with gaming.
Do I need a microphone or should I just shout? I would say there's a common theme here. I'm going to add that I have cushions that go in a particular position to enable me to play. I like to play on the Switch. I like games that are, like Sanjeev says, that work with other people, with friends and connecting. And a lot of my knowledge of adapting gaming comes from my friend who has Duchenne. He is my go-to man, so I'll go to him if I need to know anything. I didn't know, which has been an absolute revelation to me, that you can change the buttons on the controller. So if it's a difficult button to reach, you can go into the settings in the computer or the game and change the button to one that's easy to press. Which is the first step, I think, in adapting, isn't it, Sanju? Would you say? After cushioning. From something as simple as changing the buttons within the control, you can then move on to, I think Ravi mentioned this about the Xbox adaptive controller, which is the first off-the-shelf adaptation. So you can buy it, you don't have to go to a specialist. You can buy it and it enables you to plug that into your Xbox, or with a small adaptation, a Switch.
Where did you buy that from, sorry?
Online.
You can buy it from like the Microsoft shop.
Yeah, Microsoft shop.
But are you referring to the ones that are like separate? Because when I look on there, there's like, I'm not going to say 100, but it looks like 100 different buttons.
You can set it up however you want to. You can have buttons for everything, or you could have a joystick. You can use it in different ways. So my friend, he uses it. He has a mini joystick on his chair like Ravi's, and he can't do anything really other than that mini joystick. And he has bought an adapter that plugs into his mini joystick, and then that plugs into the Xbox adaptive controller, and that goes into the Switch. And he uses a mini joystick to control. He has a button in the other hand, which is very clearly placed, precisely placed. And then he's found he has a tiny little movement under his foot. If he lifts his foot plates and puts a stack of CDs underneath his foot, he can put a button there which he can use. So he then has control of a game that...
He absolutely thrashes us at Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous.
And the bit that he finds really exciting is that he researches a lot of it and that he could do that himself. So there are a number of companies, which we haven't mentioned yet, have we? There are a number of charities that will help if you don't feel comfortable in finding a way to adapt gaming. You can get in touch with Special Effects. There's also Everyone Can in Manchester. And there are some little local ones that I've just discovered last week. There's a company called the William Merritt Centre, which is in Leeds. And they do some gaming.
Sorry, special effects. What's the?
Everyone Can. They're in Manchester, and they actually have a venue where you can go and game in gaming sessions with other people. They have all the up-to-date equipment. And there's another centre that I've just discovered last week in Leeds called the William Merritt Centre, and they do a number of assessments, but one of them is in adaptive gaming. And they, Special Effects especially, I know that they will send out adaptions that they think might help, and you can trial them from them. They will loan them for you to try them. So you don't have to commit to buying anything.
That would be good.
It is good because the equipment's really expensive, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
That's one of the kind of setbacks that they make things more accessible, yet the adaptive control is £100, and then to get like 3 switches is another £50. So getting
Yeah,
racks
it
up.
got confusing, I must admit.
Yeah.
When I looked at it,
Yeah.
I thought, like, wow, what do I actually need?
It does look confusing because you think like, what can you do with it? But you need to get like the buttons separate, which is quite annoying. Like, it's not that simple. If you don't know what you're doing, then it's quite hard to.
I think-
It's quite hard to set up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that my friend, he's a real techie nerd, so he likes to research everything. As he finds out that he wants to find the best thing he can do things. There are also like feather-light controllers and things you can plug into that box, aren't they?
Yeah.
Special Effects, I believe, are the ones that will know about all the different things that can work and you can find. But
Yeah.
you can do it yourself by buying the Xbox adaptive controller.
Okay.
And as Ravi and Sanjeev mentioned, sometimes a cushion works wonders.
Yes. Yeah.
The remapping of buttons. You know more about the PCing, but
Yeah.
my understanding is that you can do voice control on the PC as well, so
Yeah.
you can change commands for using your wrist. There's lots of stuff on Google.
The good thing about PC is you can do things like have like a micro keyboard, which really helps, or you can get a mouse that's extra sensitive and a mouse that, like I've got one that has 16 buttons on the side, so it was a lot more accessible than that way. And also with PC you can like remap buttons, so like, you can do things like triple tab to do something when they press it once it does something else. You can do stuff like that, and also you can do like macros, which are a bit more complicated, but it means that you can press one button to do multiple things at once, depends on the game. So there's a lot of options in terms of PC gaming. It is a bit more expensive, but you can do a lot more yourself to adapt
Yeah, but
it.
if it's something you're immersed into
Exactly, if you're interested.
for your networking, then that's
Also, don't
that's
forget
the
the
best.
value of working together. So if you like playing a game but there's one particular button that's difficult, have a friend and their job is to press that button. So you're working together, you're collaboratively working.
Yeah.
We used to do that in Guitar Hero. One of us would do the buttons, the other one would do the drum.
Yeah.
I
It's
would-
remap as well, isn't it? Remap do quite
Yeah, they tend to do specialist. Something.
equipment.
Yeah, it's not like for solving a problem that's not got a solution, and they help you
Yes,
by making
yeah.
something specific for that. I suppose it depends on what engineers, what area you live, whether or not they can help with that. But
Remap's in our city, so I don't know if they're in every city. I don't know.
Special Effects, I believe, are the ones that have.
Yeah, I think they're
They're up to
people
date,
to
don't
go
they?
to. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And with special effects, would you just get in touch with them and say, my son's playing the Switch or whatever and he's struggling with this, that and the other, and what can you help with this? Or
I think there's different ways they can work with you. Sometimes I know that I use them once because I wanted to. They could make a light Wii controller, which is lightweight. So they would just, if you bring them up and say that's what I'm struggling with, I want to play the Wii, it's too heavy, they'll send you one in the post for you to try. If it's more complex than that, if Ravi was saying I want to get back into playing on the Xbox or PlayStation, They might do an assessment to try and work out where best to place different types of control switches, joysticks. They might use your chin, they might use your head, they might have you blowing, sucking. They've got all sorts of different ways of controlling the different features.
Sounds good.
It's a lot of like trial and error though.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always work straight away, but you'll get there in the end, sort of thing.
What do you like to play on? Perfect. Ravi was just saying that PlayStation weren't as good at adapting.
No. Yeah, Xbox seems to be leading in that field. I know they've worked with a lot of other charities to get this up and running, and they're very open to keep working with charities that focus on disabilities to help them as much as they can. Does anyone else have any other questions I'd like to ask?
What's your favourite game? Oh, that's hard.
He's very good at it.
Yeah. You like FIFA as well? I would guess it's FIFA. Yeah, FIFA. Formula One you like to play, don't you?
Anyone else? Well, in that, any question? No. Any questions at the back? No? Okay. Well, yeah, thank you everyone for attending today's session. We still got the farmers Q&A session in Paris. That's still going on till, I believe 5 p.m. And also there's like parents-led sessions on people who are carriers. And Sanjeev, what was the other one?
The other one was, I don't know. I can't remember.
The main one is the farmer.
I know, it's just like
The main one is the farmers Q&A session, which will be the last one. But thank you everyone for attending the conference. And if you missed today's announcement, next year's conference will be on the 10th and 11th of November. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next year. Thank you.